Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump straight into a continuation from the last video, which was, I think, ending the 8th of January. So I'm just going to condense everything down and go from there, okay? So just going to go back to wherever it was. Down here. Okay, so that was the last one which we did. All right, cool. Already got it laid out for us. So let's go back to here. Go to the weekly reveal. And this is where we ended up. Okay, so the next button that I press is going to be on the 15. But I'm just going to, as always, check our top-down analysis. So this is where the charts were left off. Looks like I've deleted my my H4 boss, but we'll go into that in a minute. So looking at the weekly chart, you know, it's always important to go through and just look and see, you know, on the higher time frame, what we're looking at. Okay, so we've got a point of interest up there. This one's been mitigated, all this down here, and we've just left behind this little spike. Okay, so that's all good. Let's just double check that everything's correct here. So weekly is down technically, yep. So weekly boss is down there, weekly chalk's up there. Daily now, let's just have a quick look at that. The daily, the last day ended up on a big doji, so not very cool, not very helpful. And I have a feeling that this is where the broker's feed screwed up. I thought that was on the H4, but it's probably something to do with that doji here, so we'll get onto that. We do have a potential point of interest up here, so I'm just going to mark this on up there. So I'm just going to put that on as a H4. I know that that would only be internal. Sorry, it's not an H4, it was a daily. Let's bring that back. Sorry, it removed itself because of the settings that I've got it on. And we have another daily down here. And we've got this line as well, which I think was a daily rebalance, which we're kind of curious about. So, daily RB. All right, so that's marked up. And that's about it. Nice and easy. This is how simple the strategy is, okay? So when we're not starting from completely blank charts, it's just literally check, see where we are, go back to it. It's dead simple. It's so simple, just like that. So H4, let's see what we're doing, okay? So the market was pressing down. We've got chock here, okay? I just want to double check that's correct. So we had chock right there, then we bossed chock. Let me double check this. So I am going to mark out where boss and chock is, okay? So that was where chock was originally. I'm going to get boss here, H4 boss. So boss down, therefore chock would have gone here. And then we did boss up, technically. And then we chopped with a wick. And we've just got this big range. If that's right, great. It might not be right though. Let me double check that again. So boss is there. Chock is here. Boss continued down. Very unconvincing, but technically yes. Oh, therefore chock would go there. Now chock just extends. And then we boss up with a wick. Okay, right. We're good. All right, so I think that's what it was. Just double checking that everything's right. It can get a little bit confusing when you get like a very, very small boss break. But we got, very, very small chock break, and it was only by a pip or two, but still we got it. And then we got this extension. So this is where we are, okay? I'm just going to mark out another H4, which I think that's still on my chart up here. So there's an H4 up there to be aware of, and any H4s down here, already got it on, nothing of interest here. So now we've just got a fat range. Now I have a feeling with this video, it is going to be super quick because this, I think, was just a range for a week. And there were possibly 2 or 3 trades. Like I'm pretty certain that I cancelled a winning trade and I just started this horrendous losing streak in January. I got 8 losses in a row. That was human error rather than strategy error, but we're gonna find out. It's been a couple of months now. It's not quite as fresh in my mind, apart from the frustrations which were going on. So ideally, we want to be taking longs, but we will take shorts if it makes sense, okay? So if we look real quickly, premium discount, let's get that marked out. Ideally, if we want to get long, it wants to be from this kind of area pushing up. It's not a solid, order block or anything like that, but I will mark it out and we will just assess what price does when it gets to here. Okay, so I'm not going to say that we're going to place an order. Don't think I would in real life. After this, probably be looking to go short, to be fair, after the red news. So, and what news was it? Non-farm payroll. Okay, so we've literally just had that today. So it's March the 8th right now. So we've just had this, literally the same price action. We've just had a wick down, push up. I'll show you a live chart quick. Here we go. This is my live chart, just so you're aware. I've got a couple of beasts, by the way. A couple of beast winners this week. I'm up about 50R. So here we go. Here's the price action that we've currently got right now. And this is the back testing which we're doing. Patterns repeat themselves. They literally repeat themselves. So this is quite handy that I'm doing the back testing right now because I want to see whether or not we will get the same kind of reaction again. Okay, so there's a good purpose to back testing, all right? Okay, so let's get cracking. Just going to click through to the end of the week. There, let's get started. Oh, we do have, by the way, inside bar pullback. I will take a short off of this if it comes in. And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. And if we reach down here first, I probably won't. Because at some point, when you're in a big range like this, you need to just say, you know what, I'm going to pick a direction and I'm going to try and trade it. Okay, so when you're sat in there, like maybe it's not the wisest thing to do, but if you're up against a time limit with like a funding challenge or something like that, you just need to pick a direction. But try to be wise with it as well. So use structure and price action to try and assist you. Like this, this looks immediately, it's an outside bar. We've just reacted from this inside bar, which was the last kind of shuffle before we got the big push up with the red news. So maybe a reversal. Not convincing with the wick. We're going to come up and just tap into this, maybe, don't know. No. So what I can see right now, just to try and talk you through what's going through my mind, is that we've got essentially just a load of liquidity here. Okay, so it makes this a little bit more appealing. Why this? Like I talk about it in my group quite a lot. I use the inside bar. When there's aggressive moves in one direction and we get an inside bar, the way that I see it, it might not be exactly what actually happens, but the logic in my head tells me that the guys who started selling up here are just offloading parts of their position. So obviously they are essentially selling the sells, which means that there needs to be a buyer waiting to buy it. So people trying to get in on the support and resistance over here, that's an order block. Okay, they're trapped orders, blocked orders. Okay, so that is an order block for me. That's why I would say with the liquidity along here, okay, so that was a kind of retest. We've left behind imbalance. The strength of this has transferred into this, then it got transferred into that, and then transferred into this. And if we break above here, and if we start breaking up with a bit of conviction, ideally, the best kind of pattern that I would like to see is an attempted push in, pull back, tap in, go, and I'd probably just work it down to here, to be fair. But in reality, we should be looking to press down to here, but there's 3 profit targets that we can go for with this strategy. There's the same time frame swing, so it could be here or there. It would be the higher time frame swing, which would be down here or up here, or it would be the higher time frame point of interest. Now, because we are in a giant range, basically what we just saw on the H4, it means, and because it's news related, we just had a giant wick up there, a giant wick down here. It is almost like a 50-50. We don't know what direction the market's going to go. We'll have to start drawing in other confluences, like what direction was it going in before the red news event. But it's so confusing when you're looking at it on a live chart, because it's like, well, there's a lot going on, and then it's so slow, like you can't get into the rhythm of when you're doing it with backtesting, so you need to be very factual. So obviously H4 boss is up. it was very unconvincing, but we know the statistics on it being up, okay? So we know that we've got, with the rule change, which I'd made in the strategy, because of what happens either this week or next week, on the charts of what you're seeing, it made us stay in the main direction of the trend a lot longer. It meant less losses, it meant more winners, and the winners are bigger. Okay, so it's, yeah, really good that this week happened. But we had so many issues in FTR, in the group. We had so many issues. There were people using FXCM, some people using Forex.com, some using IC Markets, some using Oanda, and all the broker feeds were different. Like, we weren't sure what direction the market was going in. We weren't sure what prices things were meant to be. Everything was out by a little bit. So you'd switch from the 15-minute chart like this over to the H4, okay, so we'd switch over to the H4, and some people would have different readings. It's like, no, we've just had boss, and then other people would say, no, we haven't had boss. So really just massive screw-ups on the broker feeds just threw everybody off, including myself, which gave me this kind of like aha moment to, yeah, okay, maybe there's a way where I can change the strategy and make it just that little bit easier for everybody. And it came at a bit of a penalty, a bit of a cost that, you know, it confused everybody in the group, myself included. And because I was learning it for the first time as well, you know, the rule change, because it was very different to how I was trading before. Oh my days. And I stayed up. So one night there was a guy in the group. I hope that you're watching this, mate. Batman's dog. We stayed up, and I think, and Matt as well, another chap. Between us, we went through, I think it was 1,800 messages or 1,700 messages. And we started doing some back testing and exploring this area of the chart, I think, at about, I want to say about 8:30 at night, and we didn't finish until 6:30 in the morning. That was mental. So massive hats off to you guys doing that with me, because I don't think I'd have done it by myself, to be honest with you. But that was a hell of a good night. Right, okay, so I would say with this one, I would be in real life, okay, because it fits other confluences of my strategy, okay, so I would be in. It's coming up to 3 o'clock, you know, sort of New York time. I'm going to mark this up and just get it out the way with, but I did not have the best trading time in January. I ended up with a loss. Whereas this week, just so you're aware, today is Friday the 8th of March. I'm just rounding up the week, and I've got over 55R. So, you know, and that has been well documented. It's on Instagram. It's on, so Real Paul McGee on Instagram, by the way, the blue tick, not any of the fake ones. And also I've been putting it pretty much everywhere. Trying not to boast about it, but it's kind of like, well, doing quite well. So, you know, you'll get sometimes, yeah, stuff like this, like, you know, -1 straight off. And it's kind of frustrating because when you're doing a YouTube video, there's a bit of pressure on you to try and get the winners, because people want to see winners, don't they? But that's not the reality of trading all the time. You've got things which go wrong regularly. You've got human error. You've got all sorts which can happen. So anyway, let's keep on clicking. There is a minor pullback here, by the way. But it is right in the middle of nowhere. So there's that to get back into potentially, but we're looking at wicks. Gonna have to move that out of the way. Getting wicks into here. This looks like quite a key area. So there's a potential M15 up here. Sorry, I should have marked that out a minute ago. We are meant to be going up. Could we use that as a target from there? Maybe a 1 to 4. Well, there we go. We've just tapped into this. Watch what's happening. 5 o'clock in the evening, quite a strong sell. Could be a short-term drop to here. So in real life, if I was watching this, this would be a stop order. I don't like how close we are to where the targets are. So I'll be watching this thinking, okay, I can now set my trade. Has it come in well enough? Do we want to say that we're in this trade? So let's look at this. We had push up inside bar, push up. Did we sweep that? 9788, 978, no, equal highs. So there is an incentive to come up here because there's now liquidity just sat above this. We we only came up to the wicks of that candle, which caused the inside bar before the drop. That didn't break anything, it just rebalanced down here. The imbalance, sorry, not imbalance, the liquidity did its job, brought us up, came in, rejecting off of here. Sorry, just piecing it all together in my head, trying to talk out loud. Let's see. Still only Monday. I would say, for the sake of it, we're going to take a long here as well. I think I would in real life, so it fits the plan, but this makes me nervous. So even if we went to here, it's not enough. I'd need to go for a break. A 705, yeah, I would do that. Sometimes that happens. Great. The more you think about a position, the more you should start thinking, maybe I shouldn't do this. Okay, not great, but it doesn't matter. So don't worry about the win rate, as we found out this week. 6 winners, 2 losers. So basically the charts have been really good. I've missed a few entries as well. But yeah, I'm up over 55 hour. Gonna find out exactly how much it was. The percentage was a lot different as well, which is good. That's rebalanced. So if I was to take that, yeah, it's midnight. So, well, just gone midnight. So we should have slow Asian sessions. It should be weak, press down. Where would we press down to? Oh, how did I miss that? We've got an M15 here as well. Go forward 4 of them. One more perhaps, and then I can jump onto the H4. Let's see. Oh my days. Not good. Just do not like the look of it. It was horrible price action. Like, it was really horrible. Like, the M15 was like 2 or 3 pips every 15 minutes. Like, it was brutal. I'm going to put that on because I did mark it up. But this is evidently going to be a loss in it. So let's just put it on. It made sense to take it, even though it's counter trend. There we go, out. Okay, so 3 losses. Don't worry about it. I think this week will probably be a loss anyway. But the first time that we've had one on YouTube. Let's keep clicking until we get something clear. Okay, I'm almost tempted to start looking for like the London breakout, which will be around about here. What could happen? Close that up because it will get confusing. 6, another little bit of time to go. 715. 745. Right, so if you were to trade the London breakout, it's the old rules of what this strategy came from, actually. So this would be the Asian session. That. Oh, I don't know. Horrible. Leave it. Order block up here. And then there's one here as well, which we've just rebalanced. But it looks like there'd be enough. I'm just going to do this briefly. Even just down to here, not enough. We'd need a 0.5 entry. That would be enough. Oh man. Oh, that's depressing. Yeah, that's gone. So you would have got an entry off the 0.25, not off the 0.5, but for me, there's not enough grab on it. It would be something like that. and you'd need to target the halfway point. Even then, that would be cheeky. Like, yeah, I'll just take that off. We didn't get the entry, but hey, that's fine. This would now just be overall counter trend, but again, similar to what we had, was it here? Oh no, it was there. See, it happens all the time. So when you've got a run of the wicks, you've got liquidity forming right there. Expect price to go up, fill this imbalance, possibly tap in. This was just a mitigation of this. It didn't sweep anything, so it's not particularly strong, and it would be counter trend to the higher time frame. But the reaction out of this zone is looking fairly decent. So we might want to be getting long now rather than anything else. Might want to be looking at a strong body break above this, press back in, probably get involved on a wick, and then go. So try and get a long trade in. And other than that, we have, that was, oh, it's because we had the pink on there. It looked like an inside bar to me. Okay, not particularly great. So really, this is what I would class as the last hope, really. Let's keep going. Looking better. Now, we've already mitigated that bit with the press down. This press down has been mitigated by this candle. So really there's nothing for me to get involved with. Now, I have been asked a few times to look at a lower time frame on these videos. Okay, so we're just gonna look, we're not gonna act off it. Okay, so is there anything that we could spot on the 1 minute which doesn't display on the 15? Just gonna draw these out. Okay, so obvious kind of areas. Okay, and then we're just going to look at what they look like on the 15. Okay, so I do use the 1 minute from time to time. I don't really need to, but just go back over to this. What does it look like? So those are two 1 minute order blocks on a lower time frame. They don't look interesting on the 15. So just bear that in mind. If you do look at the lower time frames, yes, of course, you'll get a smaller stop loss and a bigger risk reward ratio. But if it just doesn't make sense on the M15, you don't really want to take them. This one, perhaps because it's the halfway point, like if you go back to premium discount, it's going to be the EQ, you know, bang on. That makes more sense. This one doesn't because there's a load of liquidity underneath these now. So there's a bit more of an incentive for if price passes through here, it'll probably pass through there, wick, and then at least pull back. But, you know, it should wick beyond all of these equal lows because the more an area gets pressed, the weaker it gets, okay? Don't really care when people say, oh no, it gets stronger because it just gets weaker. It always does. So anyway, there we go. So that one didn't work. And obviously we wouldn't take a trade because it's only on a 1 minute and we're doing demonstrations on the 15 minute and 4 hour. So not fine for us, but it'd be interesting to see with that, considering what's happened there. See, we just couldn't get a break. Anything which fit our plan in January just went pear-shaped. Okay, so let's crack on through this. I'm going to go back and see if this reacted from anything on the 1 minute, okay? I don't even look at the 5 minute, not interested in it at all. Went halfway down the overall press down, so something to pay attention to, but nothing that I would have tried to take a reaction from. Got a break. We're now reacting from that press down. Not strong enough for me. Yes, you get more entries off of 1 minute, but unless you know how to trade the strategy inside out, I wouldn't recommend that anybody does it. And also, just like where we have the liquidity line along there, we also have it here now. So we would expect, or what I would expect here, press in, take liquidity out of this, press down, take all the liquidity out of here, possibly react from a little bit lower than this. So I would probably be inclined to shrink that now down to there, tap in, go, something like that. So you always want to be kind of planning ahead if you can, make a little bit of sense of it, but it's not always doable. Okay, sometimes it's just messy price action is what we experienced around here. Oh, there we go. Right, big sell-off. That liquidity went. This did nothing at all. Okay, so possibly because we had already mitigated it. Forgot about that. We'd already mitigated it by the 0.25. So just ignore what I said just then. So it had already been mitigated, made it weaker. This did absolutely nothing on the 1 minute. So you'd be crying if you tried to jump into a lower time frame. What time of the day are we? So New York session is well underway. We've got kind of this up here, but it's not fantastic. This was the sweep across the liquidity. Mitigation of that. It's just messy. Okay, there's not particularly any price action I'd want to be involved in. And then there was this, which I was thinking of as possibly the last pullback before the push. So with that in mind, the size of this looks more like an H4. It looks about 25 pips, okay? 20. Maybe you'd want chock in this area before you even take a trade. Oh, okay, looks better. Don't really want to get short at the moment. Look at that, just tight Asian range. That is a tight Asian range. I would look to trade the London session out of this, or London breakout. So we've got this as a reaction from that, okay? Not particularly strong, but well, maybe it is going to be strong, but it doesn't look great. And then what we have beyond that is this. We've rebalanced it, but we've not mitigated it. It makes it weaker when it's rebalanced, but we now have all of this liquidity along here, okay? But then we also have that spike up, but it's only a wick, and then we also have this little thing to potentially look out for if we do come up to it. So I would look to take a long off of here, and given the time in the morning, 7:15, we should have a press in one direction and then break out. Might be wrong. Oh, okay. There we are. Oh, see, that's what this week did to me. So that one which I said, oh, maybe, maybe not, it seems to be the London Open, pretty much, the reaction point. Oh, it's tricking us. Wow. Wouldn't have even taken profit if you did get short from that. So insane. Okay. Oh, and we've now left behind what looks like a decent M15, and it's the 8 o'clock candle, which is giving it strength. Okay, so I would want to take a trade off of this if price comes back. Okay, I'll draw on the, the thingy in a minute if we get back to it. Oh, there's one here, don't worry about it. Now, what's that rebalanced to? It's rebalanced to just the first wick down, push up, zigzag, go, maybe. Okay, that would give me more confidence. What time is it? Yeah, pretty much New York. And we're almost through Wednesday. Okay, 20-ish, 25 minutes into the video. Let's just get cracking. Okay, cool. I'd be crying. And that did nothing. That did nothing. Okay, interesting. But what we have again is this left behind. Okay, so we have that as well as a potential. Now, I'd be tempted to combine these two and just make it like one bigger order block. And if I do that, target pretty much has to be up the top. Pretty much up there, I think, to get what we need. Yeah, 1 to 4, 7, 8. Probably do that. Would I do that in real life? Yes, I do it quite often. If there's an order block on top of an order block. Just look at this price. It is disgraceful. But having said all this, there were 2 or 3 people who did get funded during this time period. So they were taking all the little iterations, which is just mind-blowing. Rock solid traders. I didn't have as much luck. I didn't have as much time either on the charts. Having said that, I don't know whether or not they're on the charts all the time or not, but I just didn't have much personal time. Okay, I'm just going to squeeze this up so it doesn't confuse us. Oh, and 6 AM Coming round to London, this looks like we would have enough risk reward ratio to get up top. The market is slowing though. Bear in mind, it is slowing. Big old drop incoming. That's enough. Oh my days. What time is that? Nearly 8 o'clock. Could be a disaster. Don't know what's happening with my mouse. It's just bouncing all over the screen. Oh my god. Another loss. Wasn't the best week for trading. Okay. And that is a retest of the London. So we are going to get short from that if we can. We've reacted from the OB on the left. Reacted from that. At least even short term. Just going to double check the time. 2 more candles and we can jump to the H4 and see what that looks like, because it's not looking pretty on the M15. Right, let's condense this a little bit. We're still in that giant range. Okay, pretty sure we're in that for like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, H4, that looks like a tone candle to me. There's a new H4 forming right here, which is there to there. Yes, it's a counter trend H4. But any OBs within there on the M15 should be okay. And yes, we have this one, which is pretty much at the start of it. So that's given me enough confidence to say, okay, I would go short. Sorry, I do not know what's happening with my mouse. Don't know if it's the internet connection in Wales or not, or if it's my computer mouse. But yeah, I'd be quite happy to go short from this. So let's just try and get this drawn on. And then, ooh, targets. Probably down here. Just to rebalance that area. Yeah, to there. So 1 to 7, that's fine. But we got some news coming up. Oh, inflation, core inflation, 130. So when it gets around to about 1 o'clock, whether we're in or out, we're cancelling this trade. So let's just fast forward to it. So yeah, with the acceleration of that coming in, you'd be watching the charts, but we're also going to mark that as a -1. See how brutal this is? Everything that we did was just going pear-shaped. I'm really looking forward to showing you what the last few weeks has been like though, because it has been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, that is very annoying to see, but we've now mitigated the... Oh, right, it doesn't matter because we got red news, so let's just get that out of the way. Probably sweep liquidity of everything. Next few candles. All right, so it's just on a sweep. There we go. Right, okay, so we could do 2 more candles. Look at that. All right, so where I was saying that it's stalling, we're already reading the price action that going long is a little bit risky. Well, it did. In our charts at the time, this did not sweep. So that's what caused a lot of confusion. We were still looking to go long. So we were looking at this. Do we go long? Do we not? I don't remember if we'd taken this, but because it's on here, we'll take it. But I'm pretty certain in real life, this did not indicate a sweep. We also, the thing which made the strategy change was we needed to alter the strategy because I think at the time we actually had H4 boss down here and Choc was up there. So yeah, okay. So something's upside down somewhere. This just caused so much confusion with everybody. What do we do? It wasn't above. Now it is above. It is a sweep. Or is it not a sweep? Like some brokers still showed that it wasn't a sweep. Okay, so I'm just real quickly going to go back 1 candle and see if we can get it to show that it wasn't a sweep. Okay, so sweep there. Does it show on the H4? Oh, it does. All right, this did not break. Okay, so anyway, I realized with the change of the strategy, we can have everything looking a little bit better. But anyway, boss had occurred. That's the thing, we weren't sure whether or not that was chalk. So boss was moving up, which means that we're okay to get in longs. But given the red news, you would not be taking this trade. You wouldn't take that trade. You just wouldn't. But we're going to. All right, we're going to, because it's kind of like the EQ of the H4 range. It's 2 order blocks combined. It's one almost mitigate. It's like rebalancing the other. Not super strong, but we're going to take it anyway, just to show that you shouldn't take all of them. Hopefully it doesn't win now that I've said that. I don't think it would. Yeah, there we go. You'd be crying. We've also got an OB up there on the 15, not particularly great. I was just about to come back to that. Oh, we're still in for now. Oh. Would we adjust? I would. Take 3.75. I would, just to save this, but no, in reality, you have to hold it up to the top. Oh, it's the previous top. It doesn't matter. It still gets adjusted to here. Yep. Time to sulk. Oh, oh. Time is it? 8:15. So let's look internally. Okay, so we got the breaker structure. We got shock. We have an order block there. One here off that doji. Would you have done this on the way back up? Possibly, even just to lead it into here, which looks like an incentive. I would. So I've just seen it late on here, but strategy-wise, it's all right. Probably won't work now that I've done this. Nobody likes a hindsight trade, but you know, first target would be there, second target would be here. So you know, just do that one anyway. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. I feel like I need to explain that a little bit better because I did kind of initially miss it. Pro trend, but you've got this. So you've got the big body break coming down. It swept everything. It was a sweep along here on the H4. So nobody's convinced that we're going to continue breaking up, because if we go back, like back, we've come from a downward move. So nobody was sure what was going on. It was basically damage limitations. Just the whole of January, it was like, right, okay, take profits where you can. Like, I think most people, I'll tell you what, I'd go with like just the raw strategy and say we just take it at the nearest swing, which is that. So we got a little win there. So I'm pleased at least to get one on the video. But, okay, so we get one here. Could argue as well that there's now an inside bar left behind. Right there, it's unmitigated, makes sense to get to it. Let me just clear that off. Look at that a little bit clearer. There's now liquidity under here. Got imbalance there. If there's a 1 to 4 to get back up again, I'll take that as well. Quite an aggressive trader. I don't take all the trades, but I'll take most of them which fit my plan. Pretty much there-ish. If we come in super aggressive, I wouldn't. It's looking all right so far. Okay, yep. I'd still be okay with that. Oof, close, but no cigar. Okay, so that's a -1. Right, let's put that back in its place. Very, very, very difficult market conditions. And I think at this time as well, we were still a little bit confused about the rule update, because I was still doing the experimenting on it as well. And then you just got to think, okay, this was the big move. This was a big move originally. Nobody really knew. Now you got this to possibly go down in a minute if we get a break below here, which was the M15 chock. I know that we don't really use M15 Boston chock, but we can. And when you're stuck in a giant range, you've just got to use a little bit of knowledge on the market and say, okay, this was the last sort of chock on the M15. Can we get a convincing break? I'd say the way that it's coming down, it's convincing. Therefore, work our way back up. This is the only order block which is available. We take a trade off of that if we can. If we get a break of this. If we don't and we come back up to it, no trade. But it just kept on messing with us the whole week. Well, the whole month. Okay, so this is looking fine now. Okay, and also it's left behind this little order block here. It's got imbalance above it, which I don't like, but you do still have an imbalance here. Sorry, an inside bar. So there's another trade there which I'll mark on, and if we do that, we will target down here. I'd be tempted to even just say the M15 structure. Yeah, I'd say here first and then possibly that. But it's just a week where you just had to wrestle. Oh, I was about to say there's one there, but... Oh my days. Actually, I think I took that trade. I seem to remember that happening. And crying. Not crying, but, you know. This is going to be a losing week at the end of the video. Whoop. I'm going to go back 2 candles, see if we can steal a trade. Can we steal a win right at the end of the week? Okay. So, what we were also thinking, channel, okay, big drop, channel, what normally happens? Another big drop. So we were quite aware that the market was probably going to fall away, which I think it did in the end. It certainly did drop somewhere. I don't think it was at this point in January, so I've tried to just avoid looking at it because it was so horrendous, mentally scarring a lot of us. But hey, I'm glad for the guys who stuck with it, because this week and last week and the week before, to be fair, I think since the second week, actually the first week in February, it's been phenomenal price action throughout. So, you know, we're closer to, well, I'm on 41% win rate since December. So I'm doing a lot better than what I would previously do. Oh my days. This is awful. So just thinking, why would this one have lost? And that one, they're both counter trend to the higher time frame. So bear that in mind. But we're expecting, because of all these breaks of structure internally, that we would be heading down. So yeah, just a horrendously confusing week. And let's just mark out where we're going to go to. Vertical line. There. We definitely need to pick up a win, but we can only do it from following the strategy exact, which looks like we're not going to do it. There's an OB down there, probably not going to get it. And it's the final 4 hours-ish. Ugh, it's horrendous. I'd want to say go from that inside bar there. Nope, not going to get anything. That was a disaster. Ha! One win. Put on in hindsight. Where is that winner, by the way? Have I moved that by accident? Because that doesn't look right. It was that. Oh, my apologies. It was that. Right, okay, so we got one win. Okay, so... oh, wow. It's our first losing week. I was waiting for this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losers, one winner at 7.14. That's a loss of probably about 8.5 with your commissions and spreads and stuff. So yeah, losing week, but hey, I'm not ashamed. Okay, I was at the time. I was like, oh no, it has lost for the first time in 2 years, to be fair. But yeah, it lost. But I knew that I'd missed a couple of winners here and cancelled a couple of winning orders as well just before we were due to enter them. But I've probably missed a few. I'm trying to scan through this next couple of weeks because it was just horrendous memories. Leave the trauma at bay. So, you know, yeah, probably about -1 that week. But if you take the broader picture, what we did in December was, I don't know, from memory, about 150%. -1 in a week, like yes, -1 sucks for about, you know, 8 or 9 trades. It's like really depressing, but take the wider picture, you know, we're an over 2,000 a year strategy, you know, so it's like, it's fine. 1 week's not going to kill us. Anyway, guys, if you haven't, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, etc. This is probably not the best video to share, to be fair. But we'll move on to the next one. I'll probably, because I'll feel in the mood for backtesting, I'm going to just continue this and just release it in a few days. So anyway, guys, stay tuned because you will want to see after we get rid of January just what happens. And I will show you a little bit of a beastie strategy with the updated boss and chalk, which is incredible. All right, catch you in a bit.